Good morning, everybody. Or at least this morning for me. How is everybody this morning? Welcome to Abzû. Now, I actually live streamed Abzû nearly a year ago, right back at the beginning of the channel. Couldn't give you precisely when. It was I don't know, November maybe, I suppose. But I was looking for something to stream this morning that wasn't The Long Dark, because winter mute is over until episode 5 gets released. So last Sunday, Saturday? Sunday? Can't remember now. I streamed Journey. And the thing about Abzû is that many of the developers who worked on Journey went on to work on Abzû, so there is a certain similarity conceptually, and it's got music, it's got a certain artistry, a certain poetry, even some emotions involved. It's not a journey in the same way that Journey is a journey. It doesn't have the same interpretation by any means. But it is a very nice little game. The other reason is I'm hoping to do an Abzû ASMR, and I need to find certain locations. Now, the irritating thing is I reinstalled it this morning, and even though all my achievements are unlocked, I can't go to different chapters. Yeah, thanks guys. That doesn't help. So, let's be about it. Yeah, the previous new game was just me making sure everything was running. I have got this microphone. Oh, I do have the microphone switched on. Oh, that's interesting. There we go. One of my goals in this stream actually is to find one of the meditation spots, because that seems to me a good place to set up an ASMR video, maybe. Yeah. Put something on the screen while I take a nap. I'll probably listen to it myself and fall asleep in the process. I can't remember what these areas are actually called. I'd have to look them up on the wiki. Controls, by the way, in this can be a little bit tricky. They're inverted somewhat, in a way that if you do, I am pressing boost, you silly game. There we go. So in some ways it's actually easier to run with inverted controls. The camera, yeah, I may have to change the camera. You don't have to worry about coming up for air, incidentally. I seem to remember speculating on why until I found out the reason why. But I'm not going to tell you what that is. You can either go back and watch the original live stream or the videos I made of it. This, I think, is the area known as the Shallows. And I'm not going to rush through, by the way. Especially with nobody watching. The funny thing is, I keep wanting to cut the kelp because it sort of reminds me of Minecraft. Game was released on PC, I think, in 2016. Uses the Unreal Engine. It's not a huge drain on your GPU, by the way. I'm running at 120 frames a second right now, locked. You can't see it on the screen. I used to know half the names of these species, but I can't remember them now. But these are all real fish. In fact, I think everything in the game is, I say real. The fish species are at any rate. And some of the non-fish species as well. In fact, I think all the non-fish species are. I can't remember what these are called, and I should remember, but I don't. I think even these are based on real creatures. I don't see anything particularly unusual. That's a crown of thorns, I think. That particular starfish. This is a grouper. I think there's a way you can catch it, but... probably ought to change the... It's okay, I'm just going to... Nope, I'm just going to resume. There is a plot of sorts, but again, I'm not going to spoil it. When you start off, it just seems like this sort of gentle swimming game. Now, I wish I could remember all the species, but I think when I first did this, I was actually pretty much able to give a sort of running commentary on what some of them were. That's a yellow tang, I think. It's a good job you don't have to come up for air. Yeah, controls. I won't call them fiddly. Just take a little bit of getting used to. That's a lobster. I've got, no, is that a lobster? Or, oh grief, what is it? Yeah. My brain isn't as good as remembering things as it was a year ago. There you go, Goliath grouper. If you sit around, you will see predation, as this one is doing. Yeah, you can see the problem I'm having with the camera. Let's just... change that, see if I can find, see if it makes any more sense to me. Yeah, actually it does. Yeah, that works a bit better. Abzû, I think, is out of, I want to say Sumerian folklore, the god of the sea, but I'm not positive. This is kind of what I was thinking of for the ASMR, actually. Pick a meditation spot and simply let the game do its thing with the music playing. That fish seems to be a bit stuck. Yeah, you can see the group are there, eating things. I'm pretty certain black sea bass are not supposed to swim on their backs like that. So you can see the appeal for ASMR. I think you can just stay there for ages and just watch it. Which I'm not necessarily going to do. I think it's quite peaceful at any rate. And it allows you to switch between various fish. There you go, there's a seahorse there. More seahorses. Oh, I was right. That is a yellow tag. And I don't remember everything that you're necessarily supposed to do. It's... like I say, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. So it's a very cutesy little game so far. I haven't explored all of it. There are I think I've got 7 out of 12 actual achievements. Yeah, the camera does take a bit of getting used to, it has to be said. And I'm still by no means sure that having them inverted the way I have, up, down. Yeah, see, that's weird for me, so I'm going to change that. No, I got that the wrong way, didn't I? Okay, let's see if this makes any difference. I think you can pick up 2 of these, but I'm not sure where they are. You need to get through that barrier over there, but I'm not going to rush. Don't know if it saves the chapters as you go. I certainly hope it does. Ah, yes, I'd forgotten about this. There are fish sort of trapped in little pools like that. Releasing them I don't think adds anything beyond, oh, we've got new species. But it gives you something to explore, nothing else. That's a nautilus. And they don't make noises like that. Unless, of course, it's your little robotic friend doing that. Yeah, that's a full-blown... Ah, I think the other thing we were looking at was a langoustine. That is a full-blown lobster, but I couldn't tell you the species it's supposed to be. then you can just spend as long as you like, basically gliding around and looking at things. Later on, a little bit of extra speed comes in handy, but for right now, nope, this is quite calm. And yes, you can go to the surface, but I don't think there's any land in this area. Oops, I didn't mean to actually do a somersault there. I think some of the species don't really live in kelp forests, but I'm just looking for open water. So, yeah. Oh, there is land. Well, sort of. Over there. But I don't think we can get there. And the question that always rises in your mind when playing this sort of thing is, have I seen everything? And the simple answer is... probably not. Oh no, I'm sorry, Jerry. Well, this section is perfectly okay. This is not going to cause any... I've already released the leopard sharks from that. It hadn't even occurred to me. It should have done, I suppose. There's sections of Sky Children of the Light. There's a series of quests in that which have caused people with thalassophobia to have, shall we say, issues with it. So, sorry about that, Jerry. Let's see if I can remember how to open this. You won't like the ASMR I'm planning with it then. Find a nice meditation spot, sit down and let the music just play for a few hours. Yep, there's a great white. Don't worry about the great white. Great white is actually your friend, strange as though it may seem. And I think this is a transition area to the next one. And this does bring back memories of Brighton Aquarium of all places. Ah, those are moray eels. Giant moray. Yeah, pretty certain that's what that is. Up to 10 feet long, and I think they are slightly venomous. But again, no danger to you. But this reminds me, and I think I've commented before on this, but not here, not in this game. When I used to go to Brighton Aquarium, oh, wrasse, I think. Are those wrasse? Maybe. And the Brighton Aquarium used to have a conger eel tank, which was very much like this, very dark, very rocky, with these huge conger eels in them. So far, without giving anything away, yeah, it's a sort of game of gentle exploration, looking around. A lot of detail is essentially compressed. This is supposed to, I think, represent a deeper part of the sea than we're really seeing. But the funny thing is, I think green morays are not part of the deep sea. I think they're coral reef inhabitants. But I could be wrong. Feel free to check on Wikipedia. I'm just talking from memory and decades-old zoology interest. What have we got here? Sea urchins, sea stars. Starfish. That's a sea star, I think. That's a starfish. Related, but you can obviously see the difference and that sort of thing. Curious thing, my mother, when she was very young, in the north of England, used to, I believe, if I recall correctly, go hunting these. That was a long, long time ago. That would have been in the 1950s. Yeah, it's been so long. I say not so long. It's been long enough. I don't remember everything you have to do. So, not exactly going to rush it. Not sure what that is. Actually, I tell you what. Let's see if I can find out. Because I'm not sure I remember. Let's just pop up to the surface a bit. As I say, you don't run out of air in this, so no need to worry there. Yes, you can do a sort of jump out of the water. That strangely is an achievement. Wonder, I can't remember if you're supposed to swim in this or not. Let's see. You do. Ah, yes. I think this is something like a chapter selection room. Good grief, it's been a while since I looked at this. But as you can see, despite the fact that I have actually unlocked all the chapters and unlocked all the meditation spots, my game save was not stored for me. The achievements were, but nothing else. So they call these coral spires. Manta ray. So there is an element of sort of restoring the environment to it, if memory serves. And also, if memory serves, and unimaginatively. Yeah, I think they call that the first coral spire. Hey, Christina. Yes. Like I say, I used to know most of the species in this, and that was before I started streaming, but I don't remember all of them now. But they are more or less all real. And it does name them if you can find a meditation spot, and then you can sit and watch. I'm not sure if there is a meditation, but I think I can catch this. There we go. I want to ride a manta ray. Oh! Like I say, if you want spoilers, I've got a complete playlist. Later on they have some really interesting stuff. I mean, this is all interesting in and of itself. Is there a meditation spot here I'm missing? I suspect there might be. What you want to do is find the shark statues, I think it is. Yeah, I should remember all these, and I don't. It's dreadful. My memory is, for some things, is fading. What is interesting is this sort of dual level thing they've got going. I don't know whether it's actually supposed to be based in reality, but in fact, there are parts of the ocean where you see something like this. I think it's in the deep ocean. You get hypersaline lakes under the ocean. There's some really quite interesting documentaries that include it. So you actually get this layer between regular sea and the hypersaline, because the hypersaline is so heavy it sinks, and you actually end up with a lakeshore under the ocean. And this is so hypersaline, fish that swim in it can die from shock. Toxic shock. It's so salty they can't survive. And there's videos of fish basically diving into this and failing to come out. I don't know whether that's what this is supposed to be, but it's what it reminds me of. So I think that's what they call the first coral spire. I think you're supposed to be able to pick up 2 of these, but I can't remember where the other one is. The yes, that is precisely it. That's what I mean. Hypersaline. It's so salty that it forms a separate layer in the water. This is inspired by Mesopotamian, Sumerian, something like that. And I think Abzû was god of the sea, maybe? I should have looked it up, but I don't remember. Jump scare. I forgot about that. It's been so long. It's alright. You are personally safe from the shark. Although I possibly shouldn't reveal that. So now we are getting into deep ocean. This is supposed to represent deep ocean. Obviously. Leatherback sea turtle. Horseshoe crab. Very ancient. I think we've got fossils of horseshoe crabs going back, oh grief, I want to say 250 million years, but I'm not positive about that. But they are a very ancient species. Living in a very stable environment, they haven't gone extinct, and they haven't had to, I say, change much. I'm sure they have, but Yeah. Apparently you can eat them too, but I haven't tried it. Yeah, the interesting thing, seeing as I was talking about that, even something like this, like a horseshoe crab here, it doesn't look like it's changed much. It certainly has, but I don't remember the details. So the form looks the same. There's an interesting example of that. It's the coelacanth. Coelacanth is sometimes said, well, you know, that the coelacanth is unchanged in the last 250 million years. This is not actually true. They've actually changed quite a lot, even though they superficially, the modern species, which was rediscovered in what, 1938, is superficially like species in the fossil record, but the species in the fossil record can be identified as being a shallow water species, whereas the modern coelacanth is a deep water species. And the evolutionary change to go from shallow water living to deep sea living is quite profound. The body chemistry has to change significantly in order for that to happen. So yes, even though they look similar, biochemically, no, they would be quite different. I think I'm repeating everything I said during my original live stream. I don't know that those are necessarily representative of organisms living this deep, at least as deep as this is supposed to represent. Obviously, they can't represent the deep sea in a, you know, to scale. I don't know what I'm supposed to find down here apart from these. Anyway. Yeah. Doesn't impact your computer very much, by the way. Mine is happily ticking over. No problems at all. I can actually run this, I think, at a full 180 frames a second, which is the refresh rate of my monitor. Oh, thank you, Christina. I'm not as knowledgeable as I used to be, unfortunately. That's a barracuda, I think. Pretty certain that's barracuda. I mean, literally half the fun for me when streaming it is try to identify and provide information about what I'm seeing, but like I say, the old brain is not what it used to be. I remember when there used to be some concern that barracuda were more dangerous to humans, and I think it turns out that they are. You wouldn't want a big barracuda being aggravated at you. They are fast, and they do have some serious teeth. And again, I suspect if you watch for long enough, you will see them. Yep. You'll see them predate. Graphics, by the way, are set to maximum for this. So I think I'm supposed to be doing something with this, but I don't remember what, if anything. Not sure I found everything in here, but you know, you could just spend forever just gently cruising around. And of course this is a transition to the next area. Some of these I recognize but don't remember the names of. See a sort of journey influence here from that side view as you're swimming along. And these are porpoises, but I can't remember the type. I don't think they're bottlenose, they are something else and I can't remember the species. Enjoy the ride a bit. I genuinely don't know. And yeah, now we have sort of coral reef type area. Closest I've come to coral reefs actually was in Hawaii, I think. Yes, yeah, they have those submarine tours. My second ex-wife and I took our honeymoon in Hawaii. And these are eels, but I can't remember the species. I want to say garden eels. I'm not positive about that. So called for obvious reasons. Half the time I'm going to say a species name and I have no idea where the memory is coming from. I'm probably wrong. That looks like staghorn coral. And I think those are supposed to be... yeah, I think they're supposed to be sea anemones. Are you fact-checking me as I go? Common dolphin. Okay. For some reason I thought they were something else. Oh, you can hear them echolocating. These creatures are not so nice. I know everybody's got this cozy idea about dolphins. No, the stuff they get up to will turn your hair white, and I'm not going to go into it. Just look it up. Now this one, and I can't remember. Oh right, yeah. This, if I remember correctly, this is actually quite an interesting one. If I can catch up with it. I think this is a gender fluid fish. In that, yes, I think I'm right with this one. If I'm not, it's similar. I think I'm right, but I could be wrong. But there is something, if it's not this, then it's something very similar. And I say gender fluid. They, I think, for the most part, start out life as female. They live in sort of schools. I'm trying to remember I got this correctly. And in the school there is, I think I'm getting this right, a dominant male, basically presiding over harboring the females. Grey reef shark? Very attractive little sharks. If that dominant male dies, one of the females, I don't know the entire dynamics, will sort of go and hide itself away and transition to a male. The females don't have that hump, if I recall correctly. But they undergo a full transition, including the hump on the head, and become males. Yeah, this is one of those. This is a nice little area to sit and meditate in. You can just let the thing sit and play. Parrotfish, I think? Or is it trumpetfish? No, that's a parrotfish. Coral trout. Reef triggerfish. Thank you. Yes, it's a triggerfish. I think it's the reef triggerfish. Is it the reef triggerfish? No, is it the parrotfish? Anyway, I can't remember if it's this or something similar. You know all that white sand you see in South Seas type of thing? Where you have coral reefs, you've got these beautiful white sand beaches. Yeah, that is essentially fish poop. Because the fish eats the coral to get at the polyps inside and poop out the coral. And that's how you get your beautiful white sand beaches. And no, I'm not joking. So you can literally sit here and cycle through, all the various fish that are here. Yeah, that's the grey reef shark. Oh, yeah, and the humphead wrasse over there ate something. If you watch closely sometimes, you will see, if you watch closely, you'll see some of the predators. In fact, that one in the distance over there did it. Oops. Hang on. They will actually leave a spray of scales behind them. That's actually surprisingly realistic when you get a fish strike like that. It can leave, a spray of scales. So, yeah, I used to know how many of these, but I've forgotten. I must admit that one I never would have guessed in a million years. Lyre-tail Anthias. Surgeon fish. I'm not quite sure why they're called surgeon fish. I've got a slight suspicion they've mixed up things from different coral reef regions, but who cares? It's not that important really for the purposes of the game. Alright, let's see what there is to be seen around here. Those are... oh, grief, those are worms, but I can't remember the species. But yeah, that behavior you're seeing there is very typical. Interesting thing, these. Obviously, the tubes are made by the worms. There is something very similar that lives in the deep ocean. I mean, the very deep ocean. And they are very slow growing and may be some of the longest lived creatures on the planet. And I say creatures specifically because obviously plants are a different sort of thing. But they look very similar. And I can't remember what they're called. I'm sorry. Except they live by things like methane seeps and hypersaline lakes. And they grow extremely slowly. Scientists have actually been able to measure the growth rate by literally putting a little marker on and then seeing how long it takes them to grow, say ½ centimeter, and then extrapolate that to the length of the actual tube. And yeah, I think some of them are hundreds of years old. Now, is that that is obviously another eel. It's not a garden eel. I want to say needle-nose eel, but again, I would have to literally stop and check. So yeah, the sharks are the meditation points, and you won't necessarily get all of them. I did, but the save game for that has long been lost. Giant clam, presumably. Largest pearl ever discovered was in one of those, and I think people have eaten them. There used to be a legend that, and I don't think it's true, that divers had been known to have their feet caught by one of these and then held down till they drowned. My understanding is that's probably not true, but when I was a kid, that was something that was, it was a legend or a story that was around if you read the right kind of books. As far as I know, it's never happened, and they also close quite slowly, and I believe you can actually, it's not a huge problem to get your foot out if you did get yourself caught. But yeah, I haven't heard that particular legend in many, many years. Not quite Warframe, is it? Unfortunately, I have never been swimming in coral reefs. Closest I came was probably the Sea of Cortez, but that was so long. I say so long ago. It wasn't that long ago. How old was I? Pufferfish. And of course, pufferfish are famous, aren't they? Yeah. Because people like to eat them because of, well, the risk. Interestingly, captive-bred pufferfish are not poisonous. So if you want to try pufferfish completely safely, captive-bred pufferfish is the way to go. If you want to take a bit of a risk, then yeah, don't do it yourself. You've probably heard the stories. It's fairly common online that yeah, there are highly trained chefs who will prepare wild-caught pufferfish. I'm not sure if all pufferfish are poisonous, to be honest, but yeah, but they get their poison from the food they eat, as I recall, and that's why captive bred are safe. I used to the number I used to hear was that something like oh grief, 65 people a year died from eating them. I'm not actually sure how true that is. I would be honestly slightly surprised if the number was that high. I mean, if I wanted to open a fugu restaurant, I wouldn't use wild-caught pufferfish. That's a nice little one. Ooh. Oh, those are the reef sharks. So I'm not sure if that's everything. I think that's the way we came in. Yeah, you could literally just swim around for hours. What I find very interesting is that they've actually kept the graphical requirements of the game moderately reasonable. Like I say, I'm running at 120 frames a second. Yeah. You could run it much lower, you could drop the graphics, and it's not maxing out my graphics card, and the CPU is doing just fine, thank you very much. So you could run this at lower graphic settings, and you probably wouldn't notice. And they've got very simple graphic settings. It's not. It's a case of. Yeah, they don't have anti-aliasing. They don't have any fancy stuff. It's fairly basic. But they've done a pretty good job, I think, of keeping the models that they're using fairly low, but high enough detail that they're recognizable. If you look really closely, you can sort of see the shortcuts, but most of the time, there you go, there's a spray of fish scales. Most of the time, yeah, works pretty good. So, where do I go from here? I think that's where I came in, and I don't think I can exit that way, but I'm going to have a look anyway. Oh no, this is... Ah, there's another of our friendly things that the shark snacked on. You can get through the entire game relatively quickly. I think I did it in 2 live streams originally, if memory serves. Was it 2 or 3? And I did not rush through it, trust me. And like I say, don't worry about the great white shark. It is not a concern. Those are tuna, but I couldn't tell you which ones. Warm-blooded. Oops. I didn't realise you could go off to the side there. There was a nautilus I should have technically released, I suppose. Oh, land hatchetfish? Orca? Also not very nice creatures. It's a different one. Oh, I don't know. Don't remember, to be honest with you. Like I say, it's been a year since... No, I say a year. 10 months, 9 months since I played this last. Marlin? Oh no, there's a sailfish. There's another barracuda. Hammerhead. Don't know which type. There are, what, half a dozen species of hammerhead? So this is another area for us to restore, I suppose, to life. I don't honestly know. Seeing as we seem to be solo at this point. Oh, there we go. There's the answer to your question, Christina. Yes, we get our little friend back. Although how long before the great white takes a chomp at it, I don't know. That's the one we've done already. So this would be technically the second coral spire. If anybody's keeping track on the wiki. Or in my original playlist. I did actually split these down into sort of 20 or 30 minute videos. Which very few people ever watched. Can't remember if I mentioned it, the musician that they used for this, Austin Wintory, same guy who did the music for Journey, same guy who did a lot of music for Sky Children of the Light, same guy who did a lot of music for Pathless, and Sword of the Sea. At some point I would like to get Sword of the Sea, but it's a risk, because it's not certified to run on Steam Deck. If it doesn't run on Steam Deck, I don't know whether it will run on this. There's a good chance that it will, but I don't know. So, you know, it's like, do I spend £24-25 and then find out I can't run the game and hope that I can run it later? Or maybe I have to go through some kind of permutations and combinations to get it working. I don't know whether there's a meditation point around here. Yes, there is. Hello, Mr. Shark. I didn't find them all in my first run through, and I doubt I'll find them all on this one. But it gives you an idea. Yep, yellow tang. I think I've seen those in the wild off in Hawaii. You don't even need to go underwater. You can just stand by the pier side, look down, and you can see tropical fish. Yep, that's a barracuda. They haven't given us a species. I can't remember how many species of barracuda there are, but there are several. You wouldn't want one of those nibbling on you. I must admit, I do find it fascinating they've got that spray of fish scales in there. Unicorn fish, for obvious reasons. And yeah, I'm just reading off the screen. There was a time I'd have been able to tell you that's what it was, but yeah. You could probably just use this as an educational... Ah, no, I was going to say that's a parrotfish, and then it said bicolor parrotfish. Oh, really? Okay, I might give that a bash then for Sword of the Sea. Although, having said which, if I have to buy one game this month, I'm very tempted by Armored Core, Fires of Rubicon. But... 50 or 60 quid for a game that at most has 17 to 50 hours of gameplay. 17 if you just whip through, 50 if you do everything. I'm not sure about that one. Sword of the Sea kind of looks like they've gone back to well, Sword of the Sea is Giant Squid, same people who did this and the same people who did the Pathless, and it looks like they've returned somewhat to their roots in Journey. Pathless looks good, but I got frustrated with it in the end. So the Pathless is slightly weird. It looks great, it sounds great, but you can't help but feel there's a better game waiting somewhere. Well, in truth, the 50-60 pounds for a game has been almost a standard for decades. I remember spending that much on PS1 games. So for certain titles, yeah, that's what you pay. So it's in a way, it's always been that case. It's not. It's almost a tradition. I don't know whether you would regard Armored Core as a AAA title, but yes, for certain titles to be 50 or 60 pounds is, yeah, normal. Oh, white tip shark, literally so called. That is called a bait ball, by the way, because yes, it's a ball of fish that other fish will... Oh, no, that is getting ridiculous. What's even worse, that is a swordfish, I think. What is worse, of course, is not only have you paid, say, 60 to 80 pounds on the game, then you have to pay for the DLC. And DLC, yeah, if you got all the DLC for something like Euro Truck Simulator 2, you're spending $400-500 at least. Wow, that's something. I knew one guy who... I can't remember what the game was, and this was years ago, who spent £50 on a game. Yeah, and that's a white tip there. pretty certain. I know it's a very unimaginative name, and I should not be given credit for getting the name right if I turn out to be correct. Because it is literally a shark with a white tip on its fins. I'm not sure, I can't remember if they've got my favourite shark in here. My personal favourite shark is the blue. The blue shark is something of a favourite of mine. I think they are magnificent sharks. Oh look. Ah, that's a humpback. Yep, that's a humpback whale. Which you would expect to find around when we catch a humpback. Get close enough. Pressing shift frantically, come on. Nope, you're not going to let me play with the humpback? I'm sure you can. But there are innumerable videos of humpbacks basically engulfing, well, coalescing and then engulfing bait balls. It's not letting me. Either that or my little finger isn't working. Or it just doesn't want us playing with the giant whales. I don't get to complain. I paid for the oh, it's not technically a DLC, is it? I mean, I paid for the Long Dark, I paid for Wintermute, and I paid for the Far Territories DLC, so yeah, but on the other hand, they weren't £50 each. So I don't necessarily get to complain. Yes, of course, that's a pilot fish. Oh, striped marlin. Sorry, not a swordfish. I should have known. Swordfish don't have so much of a sail, and they've got a more of a spike. Now that one I should have. Oh, mahi mahi. Not what I was thinking, but okay. Yeah, I should have known. Swordfish have a stiffer spike to them. Which one's the wahoo? The bait ball? Yeah, you can see all the fish scales being disturbed by the predators. I'm not quite sure which one's the giant trevally. I've eaten swordfish, and I probably never will again, because it's not sustainable in any way, shape or form. Oh, that's interesting, it's not letting me. But swordfish is fantastic. Oceanic white tip, yeah. For obvious reasons. Right, where are we headed next? I actually don't know. I don't know if we can go to all the way to the bottom here, but it might be worth a try. down past the humpbacks. Oh, you can hear the whale song. Oh, you can go to the bottom. That's a basking shark. Inappropriately demonstrated at great depths, when really basking sharks are more surface sharks, I think, rather than deep sea sharks. But totally harmless. Well, you know, they're not going to eat you or hunt you because they are filter feeders. I'm not sure if I saw the basking shark before. I think there's actually a... I must have done, because I think there's actually a... Oh! Sorry. That is... I think that is a squid. And I think that is a Dumbo squid. So called because it sort of flaps those ears. And that is a deep sea squid. I can't remember if I saw that in the previous playthrough. Let's go release our friend the Nautilus over here. I'm not sure if that actually gives you any benefit at all. Yeah, they are remarkably cute little fish. Oh, squid. Thresher shark. Yep. For obvious reasons. Again, thresher shark are not deep water sharks. They are shallow water sharks. Yeah, I'm not sure. I got a suspicion I haven't previously seen basking shark in the game. I think there are whale shark, but I can't remember if I spotted those at all. Hey, Tony. How's your day going? I must admit, do you know, there's one thing I don't know about the game. I mean, I don't know whether they include, I say some sharks I would expect to see down here. But they've got Dumbo squid. Yeah, this is Abzû. Some of the people who made Journey made Abzû. But if we're down with the Dumbo squid, I would half expect maybe to see something like sleeper sharks. Now, sleeper sharks are quite fascinating. They can live for hundreds of years. And they are very big. I'm not sure they're as bulky as a great white, but they can be longer than a great white. They are a very big predatory shark. Yes, we are obviously in the depths here. Yeah, there's the basking shark. I must have seen that before. It's so obvious. I can't see how I would have missed it in this region. I'm actually looking for a meditation spot so that... I think it was up here, wasn't it? Oops, no, let's not try to go upside down. There it is. So instead of having the usual intermission, I'm going to plant us here, go into meditation mode, and take a quick break. So I will see. Actually, now that I realise it, I'm gonna have to switch to intermission. I'm sorry. I don't have any way else of doing it. I should have thought about this. I do apologise. No, I'm gonna have to switch to intermission. Otherwise, I'm gonna do things like switch cameras off, and I can't. I've disabled the macros, so I can't do that. So anyway, there will now be a brief intermission. And we're back with the giant trevally in... I'm not sure that giant trevally actually do create a bait ball like that. It's normally things like sardines, but and memory serves, it's giant trevally that actually go after things like the sardines in bait balls, but I could be wrong. And these bait balls that sardines make, because they've been herded together and all the rest of it, can get practically completely wiped out too, especially if you get humpbacks coming up straight through the middle of that. Imagine that, a humpback mouth agape, coming straight up through the middle, because that's what they do. It is a terrifying sight. If you have any empathy for fish at all. Moving on. It did actually tell us where we were going, I think. I don't think I can do chapter select if I exit the game at this point. I'd simply have to continue. I think you can get chapter select once you complete the game. And I'm not necessarily certain that this is the right way to go, but we are going to go this way anyway, and it'll tell us if we're not supposed to go this way. I hope. Again, inspired by, I think it's Sumerian. Yeah. That was the way we came in. And you can see they've actually got some of the same ideas that were in Journey. There's our friend the Great White that we encountered earlier. It becomes more important. I'm not sure we'll get that far. That's where we're going. Wouldn't want to get caught in a bait ball with some of the predatory species around. Well, they wouldn't necessarily go after you specifically. I'm sure they wouldn't care if you got in the way. We are, believe it or not, actually sort of continue. Ooh! Giant sunfish. I think that's what that is. One of the most ridiculous fish. I mean, that is a... They lay absolute uncounted numbers of eggs. And I forget how many it is. I mean, if it's not millions, it's in the hundred. I mean, it's an immense number of eggs. And of that number, maybe one or two will actually survive. So... There are videos of them being cut up in Japanese markets. I don't know what they taste like. I'm not sure I necessarily approve of eating them. It does not look good to eat. Not sure if there's a meditation spot here. And no, I didn't know this was here, or more correctly, I don't remember that this was here. What have we got down here? Those, I think, are cone snails. Extremely venomous, if I am correct. certainly venomous enough to kill you. Yes, there are blue octopus. They are extremely rare. They are regular octopus, but blue. If memory serves. I don't know if there are kelp this colour, or if these are supposed to be kelp. Is there a meditation spot here? I think it's the wrong species of shark. I think it's the white shark heads that you can meditate on. And that's a hammerhead. That is obviously supposed to be a moray, albeit on a human body. Oh, now, I don't know whether those are dugong or manatee, and I forget how to tell the difference. My guess is dugong, but I'm not positive. Manatee, okay. I forget, there's a way of telling from the tail, and I can't remember. Ah, now that does look... Is that a blue shark? And I don't mean because of the colour. Not sure how many species of sea turtle there are. I think it's literally half a dozen. It's not that many. I still want to identify those sharks because I am curious. I think you end up having to do something with the chains. Ah, there's another one of our little robotic friends over there. Hang on, let's see. Silky shark. Okay. Remember, if you need two of them. hammerhead, so called because the hammerhead is scalloped. Yeah, you've got the regular, I say regular hammerhead. You've got the regular sort of hammerhead, of which there's a couple of species. You've got the scalloped, because they have this sort of scalloped edge to it, of which I think there's a couple of species. Then you've got the bonnet heads, which are also sort of hammerheads, but not quite. And yeah, I can't remember all the rest. Is this the way we came in? So I know we follow. I think that's the way we came in, isn't it? I'm going to assume that it is, and I assume that's the way. I seem to remember you do actually have to follow the chains at some point. I don't remember that. Yeah, that's the way we came in. Oh, yeah. Memory says at some point you end up following the chains, but apparently not that way. I'm guessing, is that the way out? Or is that? I'm pretty certain I've missed a meditation spot somewhere around here. Yes, I knew there was a reason for following the chains. Not completely useless. Yes, you do have to follow the chains. What else have we got down here while we're at it? Anything we haven't seen in particular? I am now waiting for our friend the Great White to come and chomp on one of my robotic companions there. Logically speaking, I ought to now follow the next big chain. Which would be this one. Because of course it is. Unlike last time, I'm not going to split this up into separate videos. I've already got those, if anybody's interested. lionfish, an invasive species now in places like Florida. You can eat them. In fact, there are restaurants, I believe, that will serve lionfish. Apparently it's quite good. They are also venomous. Those spines will give you quite a bad day. I'm not sure if they're actually lethal to humans or just extremely unpleasant. Not sure what these are, to be honest. These little bioluminescent creatures down here. I'm not sure if I've ever gotten a good look at them. Ah, there's our friend the Great White. Okay. Yeah. Don't worry. We have a good rest of the day. I don't know if you can ride the Great Whites, to be honest with you. A suspicion. I just keep waiting for the Great White to come and chomp on the robots. Alright, let's go and unlock this part. Oops. So what's this, our third chapter? What I'm thinking is, and I can't remember where the game saves, to be honest, but what I'm kind of thinking is that we will continue until, at this point, either I get tired, well, okay, or the next Coral Spire after this, because I still have half an hour to go before my stomach really starts demanding lunch. Those are whale sharks. Very distinctive. Can't mistake them for anything else. Meditation spot around here somewhere. We've gone entirely too long without finding one. Ah, there it is. Pretty certain that is. ubiquitous practically. Ah, now that's a trumpet head? No, come on. Ah, wrong way. Cowfish. Cowfish. Yes, of course, I should have remembered. For obvious reasons. Reef triggerfish in an area where we don't have a reef. Headed from here. Ah, presumably down. Don't remember what comes next. No, this game has been out since 2016, so it's 9 years old. Those are Nautiluses. I say same team. Some of the same team members that brought us Journey. I don't remember how I'm supposed to get out of here, if indeed I am. Is this the way I came? This isn't the way I came in, is it? I don't think so. Yeah. It's the great white doesn't harm you. I think I'm safe in saying none of the wildlife in this game harm you. It might give you the odd jump scare, but I keep wanting sharks to be put into Minecraft. That would give the oceans an interesting aspect to them. Not sharks that would attack you all the time, just that if you went into the ocean, in the water, yeah, the ocean in Minecraft, my idea would be if you went into the ocean in Minecraft without full health, the implication that you're bleeding, that would be an interesting one. Oh, now, those are different. So we can bring some light to this scene. If I can, yeah, that's a giant green moray. That is a coelacanth. Most atypically swimming. think... Hang on, is that a goblin shark? I'm not getting a good enough look. No, that is not a goblin shark. That is a bonnet head. That is a bonnet head. One of the hammerhead. I think, can I meditate here? Yes, yeah, maybe it'll tell us a bit more. Yeah, that is a nautilus, obviously. Pretty distinctive, nothing else looks like it. Yeah, green moray. Clownfish, out of its usual territory. And there's a remora down there. I don't think you saw it. Yeah, that. Oops. Let's go back and see. Pretty certain. Yeah, that's a remora. Oh, as it says on the screen. I know a few of them. I wanted to be a zoologist when I was a kid. Actually, yeah, it's a long story. I'm not going to tell it on stream. But, yeah, I did. There we go. Coelacanth. And as I said earlier, despite what some people will tell you, that's not the same as the coelacanths we find in the fossil record. For one thing, these are deep water species. I mean, very deep water. The coelacanth in the fossil record are shallow water species. And you may think, well, what's the difference? Well, the biochemistry of deep water fish is very, very different to fish that live near the surface. Vastly different. The biochemistry required to survive this deep, yeah, massive change would have been required, even if the physical structure hasn't changed. The biochemistry would have undergone a lot of change over the years. Is that... No, that's a bonnet head again. I thought I saw goblin shark, but maybe I was wrong. I was just seeing the bonnet heads. Pretty certain there are goblin shark in the game. I don't think it really matters. It's not a coelacanth are very deep, but they had other things in there which aren't. So they're sort of mixing up the biomes quite a bit. I want to say coelacanth. Yeah, their depth is measured in thousands of feet, but they had the bonnet head is not a deep sea shark that I recall, and I think they had clownfish back there. Yeah, and clownfish are definitely not deep water fish. So they're mixing up the biomes. It's it's fine. I'm not bothered by it. Then they had some fish back there which are coral. Oh yeah, pufferfish. Not pufferfish. Clownfish are coral reef type residents, and coelacanth are most certainly not. Now, I think this is supposed to be deep sea because of the bioluminescent, whatever these are, which I can't get a good look at. Ah! Alright, who wants to guess what that is? Blue whale. One of the largest creatures ever to have existed. There is some suggestion that there was a Moses saw, I think, that was about as big, if not bigger. I imagine a reptile as big as one of those. But I don't think that's by any means confirmed, but there's a sort of suggestion. So yeah, it's a blue whale. Despite what they're showing there, as far as I know, blue whales don't eat fish. Not sure about that, but I'm pretty certain their main... And there's the humpbacks. Now, humpbacks will eat bait balls. This is certainly true. Blue whales, mostly krill. It's interesting to think that despite the fact that these are classified as filter feeders, they're basically predators. And they're not, feeding on plankton or anything like that. I mean, a krill is sort of like shrimp-sized. Now, we are... yes, I seem to remember this. These are black smokers. Discovered in my lifetime, no less, and they are not being accurately depicted here, I don't think. Black smokers normally have a whole ecosystem around them, based on chemotrophic bacteria, which we are not seeing here. Well, obviously you're not seeing chemotrophic bacteria, but then there is a whole ecosystem built around that. But we are not seeing this. And I think those go off if I get too close to them. So this is where we are first starting to see... Now, let's see if I can demonstrate it. Yeah. Gets in the way of it. So we are starting to get more into the story now. But we can meditate here regardless. Viperfish? Yep. Humboldt. I think that's a Humboldt squid. Come on, show me the squid again. Now, you may have seen pictures of blobfish on the surface. There you go. That's a Humboldt. Yes. Humboldt squid are, in principle, really dangerous because they are about as big as a human, aggressive, cannibalistic, intelligent. If a school of them really wanted to take a human being apart, they could do it without a problem. There are tales of them apparently deliberately going for the face masks on divers, but whether that's deliberate or an accident, I don't think we know. Blobfish are a deep water fish. Humboldt can be found on the surface, and I think they do go between levels, but they're normally found in schools. You don't find individual lanternfish. And that is a fact. Obviously, it wants its hagfish. And hagfish are almost not fish. Hagfish are very weird creatures. Not sure if they have anglerfish down here. Come on, move on. Why do I keep seeing the back end of a blobfish? Oh, wait a minute, I could have rotated that. Go back to a blobfish. Can I? Yes. So there you go. That's actually what a blobfish looks like. The pictures that you've seen on the net are from a blobfish that's been taken to the surface. And in the process, yeah, that was a viperfish, I think. But yeah, the pictures that you might have seen on the net of this thing, that's a blobfish on the surface, and its body structure has basically collapsed because of the change in pressure from very deep to shallow. So yeah, that's the fangtooth. That is hagfish. Where are... There's a Dumbo. That's a Dumbo squid you see there. Yep, that's the Humboldt again. You won't find Humboldt squid, I don't think, anywhere near Black Smoke, because that is far too deep for, I think, most of these fish, to be honest. And I must admit, I never heard of anything called a flabby whalefish before. Yes, yes. Christina was saying the same earlier. They are adorable. There was a children's program, and I can't remember what it was called. My son loved it. That featured all kinds of organisms, creatures, water aquatics. What was it called? Oh, grief. It was actually a surprisingly good show, for a children's show. Very, the animals were more or less right. A lot of the areas they went into was very right. It was quite correct. Yeah, the thing with the light in front of it that we saw was a viperfish. Yeah, my main problem now is that we've actually come to a bit more of the game part of the game. In other words, the storytelling part. So there's our beloved. Actually, is it Dumbo squid or Dumbo octopus? I ought to count the arms. I think it's Dumbo squid. But that is a sea slug, I think, called a sea hare. Yeah, I think that's actually a sea hare. It's a sea slug, but I think they call it a sea hare, for reasons which completely escape everybody except the people who came up with the name in the first place. And this is a whale fall. Whole communities depend on things like this. Large dead creatures. I'm not giving that away. You can either go watch the playlist, or you can look it up, but I'm not giving that away. But no, whale falls, vital part to the deep sea environment. They've done, yeah, there's some fascinating footage and studies done on whale falls. Now I've got to make my way through here, as I remember. And as I recall, I just have to sort of zoom through. don't remember what you do. And needless to say, whale falls aren't anywhere near as frequent as that, but they do form temporary communities of organisms in the very deep ocean. It's where you'll find things like sleeper sharks. The hagfish will swarm all over it. It becomes a self-sustaining community for a while. Even the bones will get eaten. But it's a short-lived community, obviously. Actually, another short-lived community down here are the black smokers. Black smokers don't last forever. They will die. They have been found dead, so to speak. Okay. Tomopteris. That is not a fish. I think that's a colonial organism. Yes, I think that's correct. But I'd have to look it up to be sure. And I'm looking for the other end of that cable. Yes, if you go and look in my library, go and look in my playlists, I think Abzû is fairly early on in the channel's history. So I have the live streams in there that I originally did. And I have the live streams where I split it up into individual sections. I think it's 11 sections. Each about 20 minutes to half an hour long, I think. So yeah, I do have a complete playlist. I just felt like revisiting the game, and I have to, in a way, because I want to do an ASMR video based on this. So there's some there's some stuff here which would be perfect. Just sit your character down and let the music play, and you got the music and the ocean and this sort of thing going on. I think it would be quite nice. Some people like it. When I did the Pathless playlist, it got quite a number of views. Now, hopefully I don't contradict myself too much. I think I knew more back then, and I've forgotten stuff since, so... There are white smokers too, but white smokers are different. These are fueled by basically heat and magma, but there are white smokers, and white smokers are rather different. I think they're methane-based, but I'm not 100% positive. Okay, I already switched this off, didn't I? On. Yes, I did. Okay, so I now have to find the other one. Where's the other one gone? Where's the other cable? Alright, the simplest way to do it is to follow this cable and then follow the next one, because I'm sure that will take us to where we want to go. Ah, yeah, there's the other cable. Those are ratfish, I think, also known as chimera. And they are kind of shark relatives. You can come up with your own hypotheses about how it is that your character can survive that. Ooh. Let's let this out first. I don't think I've done this one, have I? Oh, I did. I am just hoping that we get to the next coral spire so that I can find a decent place to exit, because it is now getting on for lunchtime for me. And I need to find out if I can do chapter select for the stuff that I've already done. I was hoping to do a ASMR stream this afternoon of this. I don't think I'll be able to. Not without restarting the game, which has its own set of problems, because I don't want to have to restart this if I stream it, say, tomorrow. Oh no! Our friend the Great White. Oh dear. Yes, this one. He's actually sort of been our guide through this. If you've noticed, he's always going ahead, and in this case, opened up the way forward. I don't know why she's off like that. Oh. I was using the wrong buttons. Doesn't help. Now these are sort of the kind of thing you find near black smokers, but they should be right next to the black smokers. You do find mussels, giant ones, around black smokers, but it should be closer. And these are sperm whales, obviously, and sperm whales do dive extremely deep. I don't think they go as far as this. I think they go down at least a kilometer. I can't remember what the depth is, but they, yeah. And that is a giant squid. So of course we've got to go take a look. Come on, it's being difficult. Yeah, that is a giant squid, not a colossal squid. There is, I think it's a, yeah, pretty certain. There is a difference. Colossal squid are heavier. Not as long, but heavier. I think that's right. And there comes the sperm whale. Oh, there's an anglerfish. There we go. That is an anglerfish. I don't think they've depicted it with its males attached. All the big anglerfish you see like that are female. The males you will rarely, if ever, see swimming free. And what the males do is they attach themselves to the female by biting into the skin underneath. And they basically fuse with the female. So a big female will have several males all permanently attached to her, like little gobbets of flesh hanging off her. So yeah, when you see a big anglerfish like that, that one's a female. Nautilus, more anglerfish, and we are now approaching the next coral spire. At which point, after we have unlocked it, we'll bring this to an end, because that will be just over 2 hours. I don't know. Yes, basically, the female is carrying along her method of fertilizing her eggs at all times. She doesn't have to go hunting for them because they're permanently attached. Literally parasitic males. Insert jokes here. So, I now have to go and get lunch because I'm hungry. I don't know if you can actually ride along with these, but don't know if there's a meditation spot here. That is, if this is supposed to be hypersaline, you would not find fish swimming in there like this, because they would be dead. Oh, that's interesting. You can actually... Huh. You can actually swim under it. I am curious to see if there's a meditation spot here, because it would be a night. I don't know that they do. But I'm... Oh, there's the sperm whales again. Don't know if you can go to the surface, to be honest. Looks like you can. Might be worth a try at some point. Oh, now that is... No, it's not. Hypersaline. You actually get hypersaline lakes in the ocean. And it looks a bit like that. It actually has a lakeshore and beaches under the ocean. It's very, very concentrated salt water that has sunk. So you get this layer of extremely concentrated salt water forming a lake with the seawater above it. And it does look like a lake. It's, yeah. I can't remember when they were discovered, but it's been in my lifetime, like black smokers. Oh, you can ride the giant squid. So, that's a good place. Excuse me a second. That is a good place for me to stop, I think. I have no idea where it will restart. So anyway, I hope that was interesting, meditative, curious. It is a fun little game, I have to say. I think it's award-winning, but let's see. So anyway, thank you everybody for watching. I will probably be back this evening with Warframe. I say probably. This is the weekend. I don't schedule things for the weekends deliberately, so that if I want to take a break, I can do without too much guilt. Very good chance I'll be back tomorrow as per usual, but if I'm not, remember, again, I don't schedule the weekends officially. Unofficially, pretty good chance I'll be back. Unofficially, I might continue this. I don't know at this point. So, I would normally do my full spiel at this point, but given that there's only you and one other person watching, and I'm going to assume the other person watching knows me, hello, I'm not going to do my usual shtick. I'm simply going to say, I hope your weekend goes well. See you all next time, and thanks very much for watching.